Hey, what's up, guys? It's Sports Blitz here, and we're back with another NFL record prediction. Before we get into it, make sure to smash that like button and subscribe. So today we are going to be predicting the New York Giants record, and before we get into that, we're gonna take a look at their depth chart. So, biggest issue here, honestly, to me, is quarterback. I'm not a huge believer in Daniel Jones, to be honest. I'm not saying that he's going to be like, Sam Darnold bad, but he's not going to be a great quarterback. Honestly, I feel like if he struggles early on, they're going to bring out Tyrod Taylor. That's just my opinion there. I think Tyrod Taylor would win the Giants more games than Daniel Jones would, but I am interested to see how he does, though, because they did kind of revamp the offensive line this offseason, so interested to see how they do. But then you got Saquon Barkley. Hopefully he can come back and be healthy. Really, it's a situation with both him and Christian McCaffrey, as well as, really any other running back that gets overused. They're so talented, but they get overused so much that they get injured. So if Saquon Barkley can be healthy this year, I think the Giants could have a pretty dang good run game. I think they should take advantage of, having Matt Breida on the team as well. I think he is a more than capable running back as well. Receiving core, now I'll say on paper, I think they have a solid receiving core. Okay, I really like Kadarius Toney. I liked him coming out of college and even his rookie year. When he was healthy, I thought he had some pretty dang good games. He had a game, I want to say it was against the Cowboys, if I'm not mistaken, that he just absolutely balled out. So he has a lot of potential. Sterling Shepard, I think, is a pretty solid receiver. I don't think he's really anything special, but he's solid. Kenny Golladay, I'm interested to see if he can get back to how he was in it was either 2018 or 2019. He had 11 or 1200 yards and I think 10 touchdowns. If he can get back to that form and stay healthy, I think they could have a pretty good offense. Plus, adding in, not adding in Darius Slayton, but, still having him there in the mix and drafting Wan'Dale Robinson as well, I think they've got some good receiving options there. So I do like their pass catchers. Then going to the offensive line, they made some pretty big improvements. So Andrew Thomas is coming off honestly, his best year in the NFL so far, and I expect him to honestly keep getting even better. I really do. But then they also drafted, I believe in the third round, Joshua Ezeudu. I think that's going to be an upgrade over Shane Lamo. I really do. I think that's going to be a pretty solid upgrade. I think he's going to be good for Saquon Barkley. I'm excited for that. John Feliciano, I don't know much about him. If I'm not mistaken, I want to say he came from the Bills, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, I don't really know too much about him, so I'm not going to really comment on him. But then going over to Mark Glowinski, getting him from the Colts was an absolutely huge signing. Definitely helps their offensive line. Again, another guy that's really going to, benefit Saquon Barkley. They also drafted Evan Neal with the 7th overall pick. That's going to help Saquon a lot. And really, with this revamped offensive line, Daniel Jones could perform better than I expect, okay? So, as I do this record prediction, I don't want you guys to think that I think the Giants are a bad team, okay? Because I don't. I just, if Daniel Jones plays well, this is a team that could win a lot of games. It's just, it completely depends on how Daniel Jones is going to do. So then going over to the defense, so they've got Jihad Ward. Honestly, I don't really know too much about him, so don't really know what to say there. But then they've got Dexter Lawrence and Leonard Williams on the inside. Really, Leonard Williams can play D end or interior D tackle. It kind of just depends on what defensive formation they're running. Their base, yeah, it is a 3-4 defense, but I have seen the Giants like to throw out a 4-3 as well. So, and Leonard Williams can really do both. He's kind of that Cam Hayward, Aaron Donald, I guess guys like that type of player that can play as a 3-4 D end or a 4-3 D tackle. So then, they've also got Kvon Thibodeaux, who I was actually higher on than a lot of other people in the draft. Towards the end there, before the draft, so many people were saying, oh, he has so many off the field issues and he's so overrated, he's getting chubby and all this and that. And I think Kvon is going to have a good year. I think he's going to have a good rookie year. Honestly, I expect in the range of like 8 to 10 sacks. I really do. And if any Lions fans are watching this, don't get mad. I think he's going to be better than Aiden Hutchinson. Just being honest. Just being honest here. They've also got Tay Crowder, pretty solid linebacker. I mean, I don't think he's really anything special, but he's a solid piece there. Blake Martinez, another solid linebacker. I don't love his play, but he's decent. Then they've got their strong side linebacker, Azeez Ojulari. He's really kind of more of a pass rusher, to be honest. I think between him, KT, and Leonard Williams, I think they're going to have a pretty solid pass rush. And really even Quincy Roche from last year. I think they should have a pretty decent pass rush, which that's going to be pretty nice for Giants fans because they've been lacking a pass rush for a while now. But then going up to the secondary, so they have Adoree Jackson as the number one corner. They did have James Bradbury, but they did end up cutting him. I don't know the deal with that. I don't know if he asked to get cut, if he was asking for a trade, or what happened. But that really hurts the Giants' secondary. So, I mean, Bradbury is a huge upgrade over Cordell Flott. So, that's going to hurt the Giants quite a bit. But then their safeties are Xavier Mckinney, Julian Love. Xavier Mckinney had actually a much better season last year than his rookie year. And honestly, I expect him to take a big jump this year. I could see him emerge as, honestly, a top 10, top 15 safety. I really could. I'm excited to see what he does. So, yeah, and then, I mean, even going behind that, Darnay Holmes, I think, is a guy that will rotate in at corner as well. I think he'll compete with Cordell Flott to be that number 2 corner. Yeah, so again, I'm not like in love with this roster, but they've got some pretty solid pieces. As long as they can make good coaching decisions, they can win some games. So let's go ahead and get on over to the record prediction. All right. So I'm going to say right off the bat, I'm going to start actually with the divisional games. So I've already done the Cowboys and Eagles predictions, and this isn't anything against the Giants. It's more so I just think the Eagles and Cowboys are going to be really, really good teams this year. I thought the Eagles had the best offseason out of any team, and the Cowboys have a good roster as well. So I did have them both sweeping the Giants, but I do think the Giants will split with the Washington football team. In fact, honestly, I wouldn't be necessarily surprised if they manage to, or sorry, not Washington football team, the Washington Commanders. But I'm going to have them split, but I wouldn't be surprised if they end up sweeping them. I think they're going to be off to kind of a rough start to the season. I think they're going to lose to the Titans, and I think they lose to the Panthers. Okay. Titans, I think Derrick Henry is going to come into the season fresh, and I think the Titans are going to be ready to beat the Giants. It'll be a good game. I'm interested to see how well Saquon does against the Titans, but yeah, I'm gonna go Titans there. Week 2 for the Panthers. This is, I don't know. I feel like the Panthers also had a very, very good, quietly good offseason. I mean, they really, really helped their offensive line. It's early enough in the season that Christian McCaffrey should be healthy. J.C. Horn should be coming back. I know Matt Corral probably won't be playing in this game. It'll probably be Sam Darnold. But, I mean, he played pretty well early on last year. So, take from that what you will. But I already talked about the divisional games. I do think the Giants will beat the Bears, excuse me. I don't think the Bears coaching staff is doing Justin Fields any favors. They didn't get him like any help this offseason. Week 5, I'm just gonna be honest here. Packers and Ravens are gonna beat the Giants. I just think those teams are too good. Honestly, the Giants have a pretty rough schedule. But I do think they'll beat the Jags. I'm not a big fan of the Jags this year. I don't think they're a very good team. Honestly, I think they'll beat the Seahawks as well. I think the Seahawks are going to have a top 5 draft pick this next year. I'm not a big fan of the Seahawks right now. I'm really not. I do think they'll beat the Texans as well. It'll be really close. I think the Texans had a pretty dang good offseason, but I think the Giants are going to win it. Week 11, we have the Lions, and this is a tough one. The Lions have done well at staying very competitive in every game. Well, not every game, but most games last year. I kind of have a sneaky feeling that in the second year, Dan Campbell's going to, help the Lions actually win a few games. Part of me really wants to go Giants here, but I think I'm going to go Lions. I've got to be honest with my prediction. I'm not gonna BS you guys. And then I'm gonna go Vikings and Colts to finish it off. So overall, it does give the Giants a 5-12 record. I think a lot of it too, I think it depends on how Daniel Jones does, okay? If Daniel Jones performs like even a top 16 quarterback, I think they could honestly beat the Titans. They could honestly beat the Panthers. They could split with the Cowboys. I don't see them beating the Packers or Ravens. I guess let's go ahead and just do the ceiling predictions right here too. So the ceiling, I mean, start off 4-0. I mean, beat the Lions, sweep the Washington Commanders. Yeah. So, I mean, if Daniel Jones plays like a top 16 quarterback, they could go 10-7. But again, I just don't have all that much confidence in Daniel Jones. But I am curious to hear from you Giants fans. Are you guys confident in Daniel Jones? Like, how do you guys think Daniel Jones is going to do this year? Like, being completely honest and unbiased, how do you think he's going to do this year? I'm genuinely curious. But let me know. Again, guys, be sure to smash that like button and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Later.